welcome to Jose Become France. I'm going to start with the introductions of everybody. So, go Raymond.
Hi, my name is Raymond. I'm a tour guide. That's what I currently do. But I originally came to this lovely country in the year 2020. I came for my master's degree, and I studied in a school called Kent Business School. I was originally in Marseille. My course was in digital marketing and sales. But prior to that time, I worked in communications, and my first major was actually in communications. So what I guess I'm trying to say is that I do love to talk, and
As
really,
you can see.
I'm really happy to interact with you guys today.
Okay, thank you, Raymond. Let's go to the ID.
Yes, so my name is IT. I've been here for 7 years. I originally came from Masters in digital marketing, and now I work and live here.
And NK.
Hi everyone, my name is Nkechi, but my friends call me NK. So if we become friends, you can eventually call me NK. Business owner in France for 7 years, I think. Yeah, 7 years. So far so good. All right. Yeah, so far so good.
Okay. And well, if you want to know my story, there's a previous podcast, so go and listen to them. But yes, Adora, 7 years in France. I work in IT, and
Yeah.
And today we're going to talk about dating in France. I'm not hearing any excitement.
We're gonna start with Raymond because it seems like you have so much to talk about.
No, it's a
like
very
his expression was like
Yeah, I do have a lot.
it's a very interesting topic, and I'm excited to talk about it.
Okay. All right. So let's start with our relationship statuses here. So
Okay.
I'm very single and ready to mingle.
Are
And you? Well,
Are you?
yeah. Well.
Who are you? That's that hard.
Okay. And you?
I'm taken for granted. Yeah.
Who's taking for granted? We should beat the girl. Yes, I do.
I'm too single, but okay.
Okay. So everyone here is single.
Yes, we're all
Yeah.
single and searching.
Well, I'm not the odd one out. I'm single as well.
We are not searching of you.
Ah. Hey, I'm open.
So, I mean, if you're interested,
Yeah, shoot.
exactly, shoot your shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stop sending anonymous messages. Just directly message me.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Raymond, we heard you're very hot.
I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to beat the allegations, but they just never go away. I'm here though. Send me a message.
He's
That's
really going for
Raymond. What's your Instagram name?
My IG is Rhymestary, and my
Spell
Twitter is Rhymestary. Same
That's
spelling, RYMSTARAY. So hit me up.
Okay. So I think between all of us we have how many years? 7, 7, 7, 21 plus.
What? In
Yes.
France?
No, I haven't done 7 years.
No,
yet.
no,
Wait,
he has-
no,
I think
3 of us,
Yeah,
21.
yes.
Then how many? 4?
Yeah, about 3. I
3,
came in
yeah.
2020. Yeah.
So
thereabout.
between all of us we have what 25
25.
years experience
Living in France.
living in France. So how has dating been for you? What would you say? I mean, on the general level, or in a general way, like how has dating been for you in France?
I think it's been good, bad, and ugly.
Tell us everything. They want to hear everything.
Um,
Start with the good.
Okay, the good side, I actually dated someone, and this was like last year. I dated for about 6 months thereabout.
French, Nigerian.
No, she wasn't. She wasn't French. She was British actually.
How did you meet?
And we met via social media.
Okay.
And yeah, like we just hit it up from the first minute. It was just pure vibes, lovely conversations, and the day we eventually met up for a drink, like it was already chemistry, going on. So It was good. It was good while it lasted, but she eventually had to leave back to the UK. So we had to just mutually agree to call it off because, I mean, we both didn't want to have a long distance thing, because I had been in a long distance relationship prior to that time, and I knew that that wasn't what I wanted at that time. So.
So was she here for work or
Oh,
school?
she came for
or-
school. She came for school. She was a fashion student. She was an exchange student with
Oh,
a school,
so-
fashion school here in Paris.
Well, so you knew from the beginning that it was gonna be long
No, not
distance,
necessarily.
or,
No, not necessarily
or she was
because
gonna stay here for a long
she
time.
actually did want to stay,
Mhm.
but she couldn't get an internship here, so that was what
Ah.
happened, and she had to go back. But she really wanted to stay. I mean, if it had worked out, maybe we could have been dating till now, because we never really had any issues actually.
Wow.
Wow. That
And
went South Street.
Yeah.
so what would you call that? The good?
Yeah, that's the good.
Let's say the bad.
Maybe
Okay.
you don't
Yeah.
wanna, you're not curious if we have any good
I think we should
stories.
just go around and then let the others talk about their good
I
stories
know what's your
first.
good. Good.
I don't know, like I haven't actually dated someone here except for the weird Senegalese person, I feel.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't last long, maybe like 1 year.
Okay.
And then I went solo. Yeah, I've been single since. Nothing too much or too crazy, it's just a weird experience though. But I wouldn't say it was the worst, but it was good.
Okay. That's good to hear. NK.
Well, nothing really here. I've dated French guys, but that was before I came to France. So, and those were beautiful stories. But in France here, nothing, it's been just, years of going on dates and dates and dates with, people from different nationalities, and maybe you realize that after the second date, nothing really is gonna come out of it. When I first came to, it wasn't like a connection, but it was someone I felt like, yeah, that's the person I've probably dated the longest. And but when eventually we wanted to take it to the next level, I think that we spent too much time at the friendship, days. That for me, yeah, I couldn't now see him as I didn't have any, that kind of chemistry that you needed to be in a relationship with someone. I didn't have it, so we never really, crossed over to lovers. But yeah. So it's been 7 years of just chilling, going on, some very good dates, exquisite dates, nice dinners, nice wines, and all of that, and yeah, you enjoy it, and you say adios. But I think again that it also is reflective of maybe when we came here, because before we came here back in Nigeria, Tinder wasn't all that. So you were really meeting people naturally, organically, and all that.
Yeah.
And maybe the first years, but when we came here was when the apps had started, and it just became very difficult, to see someone stop you on the street and say, hey, hello.
But then again, it's not even their culture.
And then again, it's not the culture.
Well, it depends.
It's against the law though.
Really?
Yeah.
How? When?
Like to hustle people on the streets.
Yeah, but that's how.
That's what
Well,
Oh, yeah, I think you mean catcalling.
like her calling and
Yeah.
like actually walking up to people and
but,
because people can actually accuse you of sexual assault.
Harassment.
well, okay,
Yeah.
sure, that one's empty.
That's
Well, like for me, my experience, I mean, I've been in Paris, 6 years, and I was in Aix-en-Provence for like my first year, and the experience was completely different in Aix-en-Provence. And personally, I would like to literally go back to Aix-en-Provence to live because it was just amazing. It was very, very easy to just meet people, walk up to people, to talk to people. I still have relationships with people that I randomly met in the street that literally came up to talk to me. And it's just very beautiful, and it's not necessarily something that I find or I see here in Paris. I mean, sometimes or once in a while, yes, I do get stopped. As per
Of course it's you.
No, but it's true. I don't know. It's also I feel like all the years I've been in France, I've only had people walk up to me randomly to say hello or whatever twice in 6 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Twice.
I don't think
The
that happens
first
to you.
was in Nice, and just because this guy said that, I'm like, for you to do that, I want to be friends with you, even though, I could just tell that, nothing was gonna happen. But he was like, oh, you look so good. I'm like, this was probably after 3 years in Paris.
Oh, wow.
In France, that had never happened, and then someone does that to you for the first time. I'm like, oh, okay, we're gonna be friends, you know.
Yeah.
And then the second one was in Paris. It was in the metro, in one of the areas. And this was after, I think it was just after the first when
Wave.
COVID had, after the
Yeah.
first wave, and we had started going out. And then I had gone to see a friend. I was on my way back, and this dude in the metro was just cutting eye for me. And I saw him, and he was really beautiful, a handsome dude. So, and I'm like, yeah, come. So now, he now came and sat close to me, and we exchanged. Oh, such a beautiful dude. You know, personal trainer, the way I like
Oh,
it.
wow.
But very disappointing. It just turned out that inside all the muscles, there was no single brain inside.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So again,
What
even friendship.
What
we
exactly
couldn't-
did he do that made you feel that way, or what exactly?
No, we couldn't even have any conversation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did he speak English?
No, he didn't
Oh.
speak
Okay,
English.
maybe that was it though.
It
Not
wasn't that. I
necessarily.
speak French.
Yeah.
I can hold a conversation in French, but it's like there just wasn't any. I think because of him and what he does, and
Yeah, probably.
he's used to
Yeah.
having girls, you
Yeah.
know,
Fluff.
flock around
Yeah.
him, and he didn't really need to do much to.
Mhm.
And I'm like, okay, let's talk, you know. Then I remember I was working on an AI project. I'm like, let me even tell you how my day is going, what I do on a typical day. He was looking at me blankly. He didn't know what AI was. Like, there was nothing.
chemistry.
We just could not converse on an intellectual level. So,
How difficult would you say, or how does like not speaking French like affect your dating here in France? Because for me personally, I don't necessarily like to go for guys that do not know how to speak English at all.
Me too.
Because imagine having a conversation with AI with
about
your
AI,
boyfriend.
yeah.
I feel like there are just so. Well, first of all, if I'm tired, I don't want to speak
Big
French.
French, exactly.
Like that is not where I want to go.
Yes, this is true.
And then just having someone, I mean, you don't even necessarily have to like speak perfect English, but I want to be able to communicate to you in English. I dated this French guy who broke up with me because he said he was struggling in. No, he wasn't even really struggling. Wasn't that terrible?
But he said he was.
He
wait.
said
It was-
his brain, he was
yeah,
tired.
his brain was
He was
tired. Like
tired.
after our dates, he said he would go home and he would just be completely exhausted. And it's the same, like the opposite for
For
me.
you.
Exactly,
Right.
because I mean, I'm working with French the whole day, and at the end of the day, I'm just tired because, like, when you're speaking like a different language that your brain is not
Used to.
you are obviously
Yeah,
putting in more effort, and
It doesn't come
it's quite
naturally.
exactly it's quite
Yeah.
tiring and exhausting.
Yeah, for me, my jaw, everything just like I can't even move it anymore.
I think my own problem with trying to date someone that doesn't speak any English at all is, at some point I would like to flirt, right? Because I think,
True.
no, I'm actually being very
Or
factual.
even the jokes.
Yeah,
You know?
I would like to flirt and I would like to say some things. And with me, English comes, I talk very, very naturally in English. So I know some things to say to get you thinking a certain way. But in French, it's like I'm trying to like build the phrase.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
like,
And then it loses
Oui.
the essence.
momentum and everything.
comment pour construire cette phrase? And I'm like, no, I just can't do this. It's too much for me. The other day, I will tell you true life. Like this wasn't even long ago. I got matched with a lady on OkCupid, and she's French. White French. And we started conversing, and it was cool. Like she spoke a little bit of English, but she was like, "Oh, do you speak French?" I'm like, "Yeah." And then we started speaking in French, and conversation seemed to be going well. And then at some point, she's asking me again, "Yeah, have you been like French, white French babe before? I'm like, yeah, and I'm speaking in French and everything. But I just felt it wasn't natural. It kind of started going off, and then within 10 minutes of that happening, when I noticed it was getting awkward, she literally just unmatched. I kid you not. So I knew that it wasn't just, she felt more comfortable, even though she spoke a bit of English, but she felt more comfortable, speaking to a French dude, right? And I wasn't that guy, so even though she had matched because maybe she saw something she liked, when we started conversing, it just didn't work out. So it's a struggle. I wouldn't lie, it is.
Like, so in terms of the jokes, in terms of flirting, like you said already, and I mean, this is what I would probably say are sort of advantages of, say, like going out with a Nigerian. There are just things you would not be able to explain that they would automatically guess. I mean, so intercultural dating and all, they're just things that you want to you do, or that you say that they just automatically would not guess.
No, but that's absolutely true. Like, there's no denying that it's easier because it's somebody that you guys have the same history, the same culture. Your jokes, your references, they immediately get it.
True.
You're not making any efforts. Whatever. It's just easier. Of course, it doesn't mean that dating Nigerians in France are the easiest or is the best thing, but it means, like, in terms of that connection, communication and everything, just having fun, having a chill time with each other. Of course, it beats being with somebody that you have to translate your jokes, you crack it, they don't understand, and you have to explain, what I was saying, what now.
And for me, I think Adora has a case that she was saying.
It was the same guy. It was the same guy.
Yeah.
So we went on a date and it was in Paris, and he was crossing the road with when it's red, you're not supposed to cross, but then he was crossing, and then they were doing construction, so it wasn't very straight path, and I was following him, and in my head, I'm like, hey, this guy, they carry me over, I don't know. So I started laughing, and he was like, oh, why are you laughing? And I'm like, never mind, you understand. And he insisted, okay, tell me. And then I told him, and then he was just blank. And I'm like, okay, wait, maybe when I show you the video, you get it. Yeah. I showed him the video, and he's like, I still don't get it. And then we literally, from that joke, that conversation, we transitioned into politics. What? I'm not even joking.
That was awkward.
We transitioned to politics. I was explaining the whole, and that was an election period.
She was doing the election and how power struggle is.
And I was talking about how people were supporting Tinubu and all of that, and he was like, and me personally, I did not think Tinubu was very competent, and he's like, he doesn't understand why anybody would want to support like someone that's incompetent and all of that and all of that. So there was the language thing, then there were some other things that happened as well that just culminated in him just saying, oh, like, no. So I'd explain. The next, I was at his place, and then he was like, oh, do you want, what do you want for breakfast? And I'm like, oh, I'd like to have hot chocolate. And he's like, I'll make you hot chocolate the way your grandma used to make hot chocolate.
What?
And in my head, I'm now thinking, wait, how does he know how my grandma makes hot chocolate? And I'm like, what? And then, like, you literally melt the chocolate in the pot. It was the first time I was saying that. You melt chocolate in the pot, you add milk, you can add even some spices if you want, and all of that. And he's showing me, and I'm like, I've never in my own entire life made hot chocolate that way. And it's like, okay, that passed. Then I think we're talking about something else, and then it was milk. Oh, I was explaining how I made my own hot chocolate, and I'm like Nido powdered milk, Milo like powder and all of that. Yes. And then the next thing he asked me, oh, why are you guys using powdered milk? Were you living through the war? And I'm like,
wow.
Okay. So like it was we're just saying how different we were, and we're like, oh, okay, nah, this just isn't gonna work, and it's like, so.
I think it's also a question of the person's disposition. It's okay to have cultural differences, you know, and that's what happens with interracial relationship. Is that you are both different, but it's really the disposition of each person. Like, are you curious to learn about it, and do you have the right mindset, and you're not just coming with some weird. Crazy, what do you call them? Is it stereotypes and perceptions? You know. So it's like for him to make that comment, like, did you live through the war? I'm like, no, you know. It's more like, oh, really, you know, like show some level of curiosity to say, oh, you know, some people say, oh, really, okay, I'm actually curious, I'd like to taste it, you know, and that sets the tone on a different level.
I'm supposed to say, oh, did you fight in the war or whatever?
I mean, like, even from the grandma statement, I already felt like that was racist.
Because, because for me.
First off, you don't know who her grandma is.
Yeah.
And secondly, like, for you to say that, like, okay, you're implying that the grandma makes it in a certain way that you have probably understudied before. It's a lot, you know, to deal with. And just, you know, just to add to what you said, of course, in interracial relationships, where the other person, the significant other, is willing to learn, it's something that can work. And I'll use my last relationship as an example. You know, my ex was someone that really loved Nigerian culture because of me, not because she knew it before. So she was exactly. It's like she was really curious. She's like, how do you make a goosey soup? How do you make this and how do you make that? I'm like, there are YouTube videos all over the place, like you can see. But aside that, like, I could see the fact that she embraced Nigerian music. And even her friends, like, all knew Nigerian music because of me. Like, she's playing Peru by Fireboy. I'm serious. Like, she'll go back to the UK on holiday, and then she's playing all of these Nigerian songs because, you know, she's dating a Nigerian person. So, it all depends on the disposition and the mindset that the person has. If the person is hell bent on staying and sticking with their traditions or cultures, and they're not ready to, like, reach a compromise, that might be an issue. But if you guys are able to meet eye to eye on, you know, at least 90%, or okay, let me know,
90 is quite a lot.
maybe 60%, all right, of some of the views that both of you might not necessarily meet eye to eye on, then I think you have a basis for having a great relationship.
Because it's also a give and take, you know. I'm learning your culture, you're also learning mine, and we grow the relationship.
Now, going back to the fact of not dating someone who cannot speak French, who cannot speak English, like, I would say for me it's more about you know to speak the two languages, because then we can argue, and I can also learn my French. You know, if you can tell me exactly what it is in English, it's much better than I'm saying, because before when I was with this guy, I would be like, laisse-moi tomber.
But that's not enough to say what you want to say.
So he would just be laughing. So if he would be like, oh, let's not talk English, he would just be laughing like, oh, this is not correct French, whatever. But he couldn't explain to me in English. So I had to figure this out. So his English was terrible. And my French was just worse. At that time, I wasn't speaking anything. So I can see why it's really important that till now, like, if you cannot speak very good English, I won't, like, even try.
It's really important.
Can we talk about Nigerians dating Nigerians in France?
Okay, go ahead.
What's the problem?
There's no problem.
Have you dated in Nigeria?
I haven't dated in Nigeria. And that's because I feel like there's a problem. Like, you guys know there's a problem, right?
There's no problem dating Nigerians, it's just we haven't found the one. For me, it's just familiar space.
Familiar spirits.
Space. Space. No, because I am actually open to dating a Nigerian because I feel like it's much more safer for me, but
safer or easier?
No, easier. Safer because of cultural whatever, but that person must not be from my tribe. Must not be.
No way you brought tribalism here.
No way. That must
Oh my
No,
god.
if you
No, but it's okay.
true.
She's saying wasn't
For
made
myself,
from her
my
tribe.
tribe,
Okay.
my tribe, yeah.
All
So
right.
she's being tribalistic on herself.
Yes,
Yeah.
not only for my
That's
tribe.
fine.
Why?
That's fine.
Because I don't want, certain
Expectations
expectations of
okay.
more. You see?
Okay. I
So, yeah.
understand.
But still, like I wouldn't. It's not up my list to date a Nigerian. It's not there, to be honest. no.
These are the issues.
But I would still do it.
Honestly, I'm not sure. I really don't know. Anyway, I mean, if one, we'll see. I don't know. But I was seeing somebody, and then he's like, "Oh,
In Nigerian?
in Nigerian, yes," and he's like, "Oh, I don't know if you're like all these Lagos girls," and I'm like,
Exactly my
okay.
point. Yeah.
What exactly was that?
Did you ask him what he meant by that?
I think it was in terms of like expectations of like
Materialistic.
the whole typical role
Gender
expectations,
roles.
yeah, gender roles, yeah,
Okay.
and
Like baby girl life? That
baby
kind
girl,
of thing.
okay.
Baby girl life. Soft life.
something like kind of, yeah.
Anyways, this has been my experience.
Okay. Tell us what's
What would you
Ladies and
say?
gentlemen, I feel that Nigerian ladies here put up a very, very funny guard. It's a screen guard or a guard that I don't understand.
It's from
To be honest,
experience.
I'm just saying my own experience. Anyways, my experience does not invalidate any other person's experience.
Mhm.
But I mean, like, we have a group, right? We have a group called FON. There's a group called FON. And you try to strike up a conversation with a random person that you feel like, okay, this person might be, single or whatever. I'm single, you're single, we're Nigerian here. We have a large community, right? And then you send a message and the person is replying, and then next minute they blank you off. They literally stop replying. And you're wondering at what point did this whole disconnect start? Because it's not like you were being a brute or you were not being foolish. You were not trying to patronize the person. You're literally just trying to get to meet them. So I kind of have a feeling that when Nigerian ladies come here, and this is just me speculating, I might be wrong, but I'm speculating, right? When they come here, they embrace the same things that these French women do, which is sometimes if they feel like they don't think they want to have anything to do with you, or even if they might want to, if they don't feel like they want to have a chat with you at that point in time, instead of being forward with it like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm taking, or I'm sorry, I don't think I want to, expressly communicating, they ghost. And it's the same thing French women do. And
Really?
it's why, sorry, let me finish. It's why I have come to the conclusion that dating in France is Raz. It is Raz. It's Raz because compared to other places, like, people communicate. I think that's what's important. It doesn't really matter if you want to be with the person or not. Like, be straightforward with the person. Talk to the person and let the person know, hey, I'm actually seeing someone else, or I don't think I want to be in that space, or I don't, but communicate. Don't just like blank the other person out like they don't exist, or maybe they have leprosy or something. I don't know.
I personally think I prefer to take things on an individual basis rather than blanketing people and saying Nigerian.
Exactly.
No, but I've had several experiences. That's why I did that generalization. But yeah, I agree with you.
And why do you think you have all these several experiences?
Why do I think I have them? Because they happen. I mean, these things happen here. I mean,
No, but things don't just happen. Why do you think that?
So
I don't
he's
think
probably
it's
attracted to a particular kind of girl that
I don't
What
think
he's
it's.
doing,
I don't think it's. No, I don't think it's about being attracted to a particular set of people. I
Or
think.
maybe wait, could it be
Yeah.
that you are running things in the same group? Say you are chatting with this person.
But
they
I mean,
want-
if
and then-
anyone came to speak to me, I would not ghost him.
Yes.
And he's never spoken to you, right?
And
What I'm
Or yeah, like
Well,
What I'm
if
trying
it's
to
married-
ask
No, I wouldn't
is-
ghost him. I mean,
yeah,
I
yeah.
wouldn't basically do that. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
could it be that you are moving to these girls in the same group. So you can say FON. FON is it's just one community, and everyone knows everyone. So if you are talking to this one,
that's not the situation.
Most people know people. I mean, I don't know everyone, but I know you. I know Adora.
That has never been
linked to Adora and you. You know what I'm saying?
That has never been the situation. The situation is, I feel that people come here, and I don't blame them because truth is, when you get into a new place, you adopt some of the things that is there.
Sure.
It's only natural, right? But I just feel like if you still have some decency, it's basic decency, right? To communicate and let someone know exactly why, for example, you're not replying them.
Yeah.
That's cool. But you don't just blank people and just treat them like trash. I feel it's not the right way to treat people.
Okay, we've had Nigerian girls, please do better for everyone.
Yeah.
For everyone. For
Do
everyone.
better,
Yeah, for everyone.
Okay.
But I also feel that it's not not my experience, but there could also be other factors to it. When you come to a new country, a lot of times it takes you a while to really find your own space, feel like you're settled and all of that. So, and then there are people that perhaps have this, before I get into a relationship, I want to find an internship, and that they need to kind of like create a level of stability for themselves. And again, maybe they're also looking for maybe if they don't have it, maybe someone that can offer it to them, that kind of a thing. So it's not, of course, it's just about, okay, how do I survive in this new country? I'm by myself. What's going to make it easier for me? And and for me, I know that there were times that I just was not ready for a relationship, just because I know that personally, I had a lot of things going on in my life, and I was not in that space to even think like I wanted to bring somebody into that mix of all my administrative prefecture and everything that I was trying to sort out,
Yes.
And maybe I might have blanked one or two people just because in my head it's not something I was, open to at that point. So again, it could be some factors.
I had a friend that told me, please, Omega, I can't even date a Nigerian. Me, I'm on visa.
Student
I'm
visa.
using card decision. I'll not be going out with somebody that's card decision. That's on a card decision. Two Nigerian visas.
That is true. That's a valid
Two French visas just doesn't work. So
for them, it also could be a valid reason. Yeah, and there are people that they come and their objective is stay here. In a year's time I meet French person, I marry,
and then stay here.
And then go So what would you say has been like a shocker, like something different, or you've learned, or that has been different in terms of like dating foreigners or somebody other than Nigeria?
For me, I would think that the expectation to look proper, I don't know, is way lesser here.
Yeah.
Like people, like you put like terrible low energy and it will still work out. Like you don't need to plan too much. You don't need to think 1,000 things because you know for sure your boyfriend was always there for you for some reason. I don't know why. Because compared to Nigeria, I felt like people had to work hard for that relationship to work. I don't know, because I mean that's how I felt. But
wait, how do you mean? Explain.
So for example, like the way we actually look, the way what we choose to go to. For example, I want to go to a restaurant. I will probably pick something way bigger than me. My dressing, the way I am going to present myself.
Yeah.
And just too much things to do and really to showcase yourself. But here I can just go with you.
Like in Nigeria, even if you're going that, I think you made that joke during your during my event.
Exactly.
When we were emceeing, when you're probably just going to buy something down the road, you're looking nice and
Exactly,
looking
because you
because
never
you're
know
like,
who you
exactly.
meet.
I don't know who's going. If I will meet my husband, that kind of thing. And then you always have to be looking presentable and all. And yes, yeah.
Raymond is laughing. What is it?
No, I mean it's interesting. Everything you guys are saying, I am agreeing with everything.
Oh, come on.
No, for real. I mean, yeah, here you don't really have to do too much, I guess. But my own culture shock, I guess, was finding out that you could actually go to a date and you not pay for like the ladies' meal, or you don't.
Yeah, you
You
said
don't do
something.
that. Yeah, that was a shock because in Nigeria, more
The
you're not going,
budget.
you're not going out without, yeah, you're not even thinking about it. First off, you're the one that told the babe, hey, let's go out on a date. So you're planning everything with her in mind. So, but here, I just discovered like you actually go out on a date and the lady's like, yeah, I want to pay for my bill. And sometimes you offer and like she can just tell you, I really want to pay for my bill. Okay, so there was one time, I won't say we dated, but I had a thing with, this was a Ghanaian, but she had stayed here for a while. And, we went to eat literally at a restaurant and I paid. And I noticed that her countenance changed. Like she literally was looking sad. So,
Wow.
yeah. So we're going out and she was like, next time, can you let me pay? I'm like, what's wrong? She's like, I just want to be part of that. Like the last time we went, you paid. This time again, you paid. And I just felt like it wasn't right. Like I want to be part of it. I'm like, no, I'm just doing it from like the goodness of my heart. I don't have an issue doing that, you know? And she's like, no, but like she wouldn't feel good inside that I'm the one paying. Like it was really, I could see that she was physically and emotionally disturbed. So I was like, okay, I understand. That the next time we're going out, I'll let you pay. I wouldn't bother. Did you get?
I think I had a discussion, like we had to talk about this one time about how it was. I was listening to this guy talking, and he's like, okay, he went on a date with somebody, and then she sort of like had that. She was upset that he paid.
Yeah.
And then he was asking, so if I go on another date with another person, what should I do? Am I supposed to pay, like, or just not pay? And then I think the person responded to him, and the person was like, you should, go with people that, if you're looking for if you like to pay, if as a guy you like to pay, then it's better for you to look for girls who want the men to pay.
But how do you
Because
find this
I have a question for you.
First date question.
It's a thing of you go on the first date and then see what happens,
Yeah.
and then if that doesn't work, then you decide whether you continue or not.
Yeah.
But then choose girls that prefer the guys to pay. If that's what
But sometimes you might not even know, like you're on that date and you're like, oh, would you want we split? The girl would be like, oh wow, so for real.
Then you don't go.
But she wouldn't know because she's not saying it out. You see what I'm saying?
Then
She's just like, okay. But she's thinking that because I've done it before. I'm like, oh, okay. And I will never go out with you anymore.
exactly.
But see,
it just ends.
exactly.
It just ends.
But the person does not know.
That's the sad part.
Tell the person, I guess, and then it's something you guys can discuss. If you guys are planning to be a couple, then that's obviously something you guys.
Oh yeah, you could also at the end you could
as
simply ask the person, would you like me to pay or something? And
Oh yeah, that is a much proper way.
you know,
Because if you're like 50-50, right?
cause me, if you ask me 50-50,
right?
I'm
It
going to
feels
say
like,
no.
yeah.
I'm
It
not
just
going to
feels
say
weird.
no. There's no way I'm going to say no. Because and then I'll pay, and I know that as I'm going home,
Let's end.
For me,
Yeah.
like another thing I thought I had a cultural shock about was the whole PDA. Was the whole kissing.
Oh yeah.
Where everywhere you go, this one's kissing, this one's kissing, this one's kissing, and then I'm like,
You know, I think I spoke to you about this. I was like, most people here, they live together, like boyfriend and girlfriend, and I'm like, you just left your house like 5 years
Cohabitation,
ago.
yeah.
Like, why are you acting like he's gonna die on the way he's going? No, it's crazy.
I've always loved PDA personally, so it wasn't. It wasn't like a culture shock for me. I felt it was like liberation, you know.
wow.
Yeah, because in Nigeria, like I could be with my girlfriend and I want to kiss her in public, and then she's like, "Oh, you know how these people behave, blah blah blah." You know, like
So
let's
you're more
just find
advanced than
exactly,
those
like
things.
let's just find somewhere. In fact, I'll give you a good example. Like there was a time I was with a friend. This wasn't my girlfriend, anyways, but I went with a friend to swim. And we were just chilling, like talking, you know. It was evening time, let's say like around 5. And then police just shows up. This is in Abuja.
Mm-hmm.
Police shows up and they're like, "You guys, what are you guys doing here? You guys are having sex." I'm like, "What?"
Oh wow.
They're like, "Yeah, see
That's
condoms."
giving me-
I'm like, "Where?
That's
Wow,
giving me
how?
sea vibes.
From where to where?" And these guys were really serious. They were hell bent on looking, but they were last night they were looking for money. They wanted us to give them money.
Mm.
So my friend was really smart. She just started role playing. I didn't know where she was going, but she was like, she calls me Vivi. She's like, "Vivi, your mom is like Chief Justice now. Call her. Like, let her talk to these people. Who is their DPO? Who's their manager?" I'm like, yeah, let me even call her aide. So me too, I was just role playing. I wasn't going to call nobody. And next thing I carry the phone and you're like, "Oga, calm down now, calm down."
That always works in Abuja because
Yeah.
you just never know who is who.
Yeah.
You just never know who is who.
Yeah,
And then next you just not have job again.
yeah. But here you're able to kiss anybody. Yeah, you can hold your girlfriend's ass. It's just lovely, to be able to liberally and freely express yourself.
yourself.
Do your thing. Nobody's stressing
And also
you.
sexuality is really like
Yeah.
freer here. No
Yeah.
one is like
Yeah.
getting stamped.
I like it.
like,
J'adore,
fine.
personnellement. Ouais. J'adore.
I think again, like one thing you said about like not having to do too much.
Mm.
In Nigeria we really do a lot.
Yeah.
We do a lot. Before I even get to that, let me talk about one thing I miss about Nigeria is is it chivalry? That's what you call it. right?
Okay, yeah.
Shivering.
Yeah, chivalry, yeah.
Yeah, the chivalry.
Like men opening the
Yeah.
doors, doing all of that.
It is so rare here.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like you remember that day we were leaving church and
They
now,
went past.
yeah. He saw us taking pictures and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
I'm like, "Ah."
Where
And
was
then
Was that
Because you don't come to church.
because they were there.
When you were at your house, like you always
You don't
say,
cast for your own podcast. See your life outside.
The girl was like, it was a Julie and and
After that, he was like,
after that we're walking
bonjour,
to the,
bonjour.
this guy drove past us. Oh, he couldn't even stop to say, "Oh,
No.
can I
Where are you
go?"
guys going?
Exactly.
I'm like, this can never happen in
in
Nigeria.
Nigeria?
True.
It can never
Never.
happen.
Never.
He will pick you up and say, "Oh, where are you going? Can I drop you
But
off?"
that's
That
like
place is the closest
I'll
place.
just look like-
But it's funny, in my place where I live, I have experienced this. People carry me in cars. Like me, I was afraid to enter the car.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that's because you live in the
I was going to
you don't live in town. No.
I wasn't going to do that.
You live
I
in the
wasn't going to do
Zanga.
Come on, it's not that villagey. It's not.
Yeah, so I miss that. Like I miss, men just, that willingness to care,
Yeah.
to show
Just
a
care
girl
about
that
you,
they
yeah.
That's
care.
true.
And just because this is a society where everyone is like equal, women want to be, I can take care of myself, that
Yeah.
independent lady thing. So
Yeah.
you don't really get that
The
here.
Parisians won't usually have cars, so they can
It's
Yeah.
not even
Yeah.
about not even about cars. It could be any other thing. It could be getting the door for you, pulling
Yeah.
the chair for you. In the metro,
Yeah, cars.
standing. All those kind of little things to just show that.
Oh, they still do it for the metro sometimes. They tell people, come sit down.
Yeah.
And
So I miss that. And then us doing a lot, we really do a lot, for ladies and all of that, like you said, I remember then when I used to be back at home, jeez, even to just sit down in the office and work, you're not going anywhere. You have your face beat full of makeup. It's like at every point in time you have to look 10 over 10.
Exactly. You have to
Kind of-
represent.
It was just like, I don't know, like a cultural thing or the society expects it of you. But here,
Exactly.
you can wake up with your bare face,
Yeah, people
go
don't
to
make up.
work, do anything, and a man will see you and say, you look beautiful.
Oh.
You wear your natural, you know how we don't, our natural hair, you're like, oh no, it's but they'll see that your natural hair that is like looking like sponge or carpet and say, oh, Mrs. Jolie, like little things like that just make life easy and
Sweet.
I don't know.
Yeah.
so that I appreciate, and I like the fact that you don't have that pressure to always be, have your eyebrows drawn or whatever, foundation everywhere.
Be looking on flick.
You
Every
can
single
just,
time.
you can just go out natural, and a man that would find you attractive will.
Yeah, for sure,
yeah,
because I don't even
and-
like makeup.
and yeah.
Okay, so like to round up, what would be like your advice to people who are trying to date here in France? Like,
Stay away from people.
Speak French, I would say.
all together.
People are not good for you. Stay in your house, stay under your duvet. Pray to your God that life will be good to you and that, whoever your soulmate is will find you.
They'll come knocking
Yeah.
at your door.
Okay, but on a more serious note, I think people should be more open. I think that's something that France is missing as a country, and this is just my own submission. People should be more open to experiencing other people, regardless of the insecurities that you feel you have. Like, open up to people, reach out to people, and talk to more people. I believe, the first time I came here, I had this very open spirit, which now is kind of enclosed. I won't even lie. But then I would literally just go to the Eiffel Tower and, just meet a couple of people having like a picnic and just sit down with them as long as they're speaking English. That's all I need to know. And I introduce myself, and before you know it, I'm getting people's numbers, and that's how I was just interacting. Now, because of how advanced I've moved on from that phase of life, I don't do that anymore. But I believe that more people should be open, even when you go out for hangouts. And that's another thing. I'm sorry, I'm supposed to be rounding up, but I go for hangouts, whether it's a social hangout or at the club or something. You have a great time with someone. You guys sort of had a connection, right? And then you exchange numbers. And then the next day you're texting, "Hi, my name is blah blah blah. Oh, from the party last night." And they don't reply.
Oh well.
They don't. They never ever
They
reply.
made a mistake. They didn't mean to give you the number.
Right. So yeah. So go more for like Instagram handles. They work better over numbers. Thank you.
Okay, I think go.
I mean, for me, I would just say mix yourself well with the society. If you're coming to live here, speak a bit of French. I mean, learn the language, I guess. It will help you a lot. And yeah, that's it. Nothing extra.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, well, I would say, yeah, to add to it anyway, be open, Sometimes, in our minds, we might have this picture of what we want, of what we think is right for us. And unconsciously, we're blocking ourselves from maybe things that are even literally staring us in the face, just because we're looking out for something else that we don't even see anywhere else, or that it's not even close to us. So it's really be open, but also enjoy yourself, while you're single and waiting for someone to, to be in your life. Take time to enjoy your life as well. And yeah, if you really want to live in France and stay here, learn the language or make an effort to learn the language,
Yep.
So if you also want to date somebody who is French or whose first language is not English, the least you can do is also make an effort to learn a second language or be able to say one or two things so that it's an equal effort, No one wants to go home with the
Never say
enjoyment of
voulez-vous coucher avec moi. Don't ever say that to any girl. That's sexist.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, for me, I mean, if I would advise my younger self, I would tell myself not to go out with francophone men.
Exactly. Exactly. And oh my God, I don't know why I forgot this one.
Well, you could possibly, your future partner could be francophone, but I mean that's my own personal advice. I would.
What about white
give in
French
to
men?
myself. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can, but always hold vex money just in case it's a
And here again, just know that sex on the first date doesn't mean you're a loose girl. Alright? So it has nothing to do. If you feel
or
someone
sex in
under
general,
or sex in general,
is like nothing.
It's, so if you meet someone the first night and you guys are feeling yourself and you want to get it.
Get down with it.
And then
Get
move
down
on.
on it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you everybody.
Thank
We've come to
you.
the end, and we hope you enjoyed the podcast. Listen to the next one, right?
We'll see you
We'll
all the
back
next
next
time.
Baxton.
Yeah, I hope I'm
Thank
taken by the
you.
next time you see me again.
Me
Bye.
too.
Yes, why?